I am delighted to say a word or two about someone. Everyone, I hope, in this room really knows about Zelealem, a gifted poet. To me, he is really a gift to us, those of us who read what he writes, listens to the CDs he prepares. He is really a special gift to us, a special gift to our culture and to our people. And Zelealem, thank you, thank you. Come over here, please.
I would like to thank Professor Mohammed and Steve for the moral boost. Before they said such wonderful words, I was about to run away with my presentation because I was a little shocked. Should I present it or should I just run away? Now I'm a little confident. I can just proceed. I am really possessed with this humor and poem thing. You might wonder, why humor now? Because we are in such a bad shape. We are suffering, we are being imprisoned, tortured, and then expelled from our own country. Why humor now? While there are other very serious matters to discuss. As far as I am concerned, humor is one of the most serious subjects in the world. I don't even dare to talk about humor, let's say, within the given time limit to me, around 10 minutes. Humor can be seen from anthropological point of view, from literary point of view, from sociological point of view, and from other different subjects. So, discussing about, even introducing about humor within 10 minutes is something like running from here to Olney, swimming in a glue within 5 minutes, which is around 10 or something kilometer, I think, and that is very difficult. So I will just try to give you some highlights of humor, and then try to proceed to give examples of what kind of humor we Oromos have. I will start with a poem by Volodymyr Barabash, poet of optimism, they call him. He is a Russian by birth, but a Canadian by nationality. Beware of man who cannot laugh with others at his own mistakes. No one is perfect on this earth. Each one of us some blunders make. If one cannot laugh at yourself or take yourself too serious, the folks will shun your company and label you as curious. The world would be in a better shape if we laughed more and grumbled less. Dictators build their strength upon the people who are humorless. Most anyone can wear a frown. To have good humor is an art. There is no better medicine than laughter coming from the heart. A smiling face we greet with joy, and the laughter is completed smile. With gloom we hate to take one step. With mirth we gladly walk a mile. The world will always cherish those who to the merriment incline. The gods above shall wink and smirk, for humor too can be divine. That is the word of the author I just mentioned. But what is humor? Defining humor in a simple terms is quite difficult. Chesterton 1964 statement that reads, humor not only refuses to be defined, but it's in a sense boasts of being indefinable. And with that, I just go away with other things and then pass to humor theories, because I don't think I've got that much time. There are a lot of humor theories, but the most talked about are three. The superiority theory, which actually started, as they say, by Plato. It is explained that of all the three humor theories, as Perk L. 2012 explains, incongruity theory is the one that describes the most basic building block of humor, and is the oldest and can be traced back to the time of Plato. John Morrell, 2016, describes Plato as the kickstarter of this theory, the superiority theory, I mean, as the most influential critic of laughter, who treated it as an emotion that overrides rational self-control, and hence advised that in the ideal state, comedy should be tightly controlled. This really gives for dictators what actually they need. Based on this theory, we see that dictators they don't tolerate laughter. They make actually laws against it. During Hitler time, I think nobody is allowed to call his dog Adolf. That is punishable by death. The second theory is the relief theory. I have got to go fast, I think. The relief theory is, the source of theory is attributed to Lord Shaftesbury, 1711. Essay entitled The Freedom of Wit and Humor. He writes that, and thus, he says, the natural free spirits of ingenious men, if imprisoned and controlled, will find out other ways of motion to relieve themselves in their constraints. And whether it be burlesque, mimicry, or buffoonery, they will be glad to, at any rate, to vent themselves and be revenged on their constraints. So, let me give you a few examples here. One of the mediums for Oromos to vent their repressed emotions is epigrammatic and humorous proverbs. Here are a few examples for different emotions and occasions. You might find few of the proverbs to be sexist or ageism and sexism you find in it. I'm not trying to promote these things. Please try to understand me, because I'm just presenting as they are, and I'm just trying to show we had all these things with all their negative connotations. For instance, when financial contribution is continuously imposed and becomes unbearable for the people, they say, Kalesanan anakabani, harda huba qoonqoo murani, ano qunxuraan dhume jetten talli. If I try to translate this into English, it means, yesterday they circumcised me, 2 days they cut my ovula, geez, I am being whipped out bit by bit, said the girl. When dictation and repression becomes the norm, for instance, bakka na dhukkubu anumatu beeka, bakka gooftaan koo jedhe na koobaa jette garbittiin. It means, alas, I know where my ailment is, but keep me where my master says, in English, or something equivalent. When tribulation and misfortune piles up, barat addeen nama nyaatte fociin hangar faca nama laalti, they say, which means the year the porcupine devoured a person, the skunk disdainfully looks at one. When someone shows overconfidence, they say, hoolaan gooftaa cimaa qabdu duboo ala keessee rafti, which means a sheep that has a strong master sleeps with her tail outdoors. As a reminder on something strictly personal, for instance, my God, kan jilbaa olii abbaatu dhiqate itti garbittiin miila dhittee giiftidha. Actually, it means the one above the knee, the owner washes, said the slave after washing her mistress's leg. The incongruity theory is, to just make it short, it is a mismatch. It's some kind of unexpected thing. When it happens, it really stimulates laughter. That is what incongruity means. I'll try to give you what kind of incongruity. It is some kind of absurd thing when it happens. We have got, as a child, we just used to play something. For instance, around the fire hearth, one child acts as if he's going out hunting, and then the other child says, no, I don't go. He becomes a coward. So they have got something like this. Abba boka gaditti mana ke borota iguaya ke hufe kayanille ajjese ngale kanin ajjesetti yu kurkura gumbii jala dhagaada ku jalatti gemme abidda jalatti gamatti nama taa'u biratti siree xeebaa biratti boojjitoo masas godheen adda isaa basa godhe. He is just trying to do that gerarsa, which is actually done by real heroes who killed elephants or lions and so on, which I might translate like this: Abba boka the coward, sit in your backyard, puff on your smoking pipe. I killed and came back home, and as for what I killed, it is the one that toddles beneath the silo, the grinding stone under, the firestone trivet yonder. In front of people sitting near the leather-strapped bed, I snatched the rod of steering and cracked its forehead. And this actually grows to something different during adulthood. It becomes some kind of a base for disdainfully looking down on somebody who is a coward, who does not want to go out and then kill. I don't have time. Let me just give you another, no proverb again, there are a lot of proverbs. Let me, there is another pastoral humor is one kind. For instance, I will give you example. These are in the countryside. Two boys are playing. It shows how we can call it another type of corrective humor that warns rural young men to contemplate seriously about the results concerning creating a home for two before jumping into marriage. One boy says, "Gufu balbala, sifud antala," which means stamping the door, "I will marry you, girl." The second boy, "Cheka mana duba dega tunama fuda." That means cheka tree of the backyard. Could a destitute be a husband? Boy, Regi gamagaba reti lamankaba, which means Regi tree of the yonder market. I own 2 goats. Don't forget, he says. And then that boy answers, "Kusayan kosida, bushayan horida," which means, could kusai be a garbage? Could goats be heritage? So before you decide marrying, don't try to be so proud of your 2 goats or sheep. Contemplate seriously. That is another type of humor in Oromo society is what we call scatological humor or restroom humor or potty language, actually. That is what Steve referred to mostly. For instance, let me give you one example. They say. Literally translated, it means the fart farted with consensus does not smell. Another one is still more funnier, I think. Nijaba hagus albo fimbeku. It means he who defecates solid does not know the trouble the dysenteric is going through. Ijolle bara quufa munneta bidda fuufa, they say. If I translate it correctly, I don't know, but it says, children of the years of satiety, their anus blows fire, that means. Sorry? Children of the years of satiety, their anus blows fire, it says. And then it is the donkeys, they say, tabbinu itti dhufin hin jiru. Never there was a hill on which we didn't fart, said the donkey. Inni qabu qabatee fincaa. It means he who has urinates holding. And then another form of this potty language thing is wedding songs. I'll just try to rush, but wanto nyaatu qamadiif xaafii shan qulleessanii shan bulleessanii abbeeyaa gurbaa wantatti nyaattu daagujjaaf daaphoo hin bulleessanii hin qulleessanii kanuu daaphoodha kunuu kaakkoodha yaalma killisii kana dillisii caakkaa dhiphisii. Sing the girls, which actually means what my brother eats is taffy and wheat 5 times refined, 5 times grind, and what our poor groom eats, what he dines on, millet and sorghum, not grind usually, unrefined totally, of all grains with sorghum, bloat your belly and get heavy bottom, son of a half caste, ram in all and get tense, and make the forest tense or dense. Yoo sareen gamanaa dutte, yoo sareen gamasii dutte, soddichoo silaa dabeessa, gadi kaatee, cufaa jabeessa, ol kaatee, haadhatto deessa. Albaatiin cichaa balleessa, fincaaniin daaraa basseessa, haa cabu dhiira shan keessa, ariyaasii balleessa, kungurra dhiiraa balleessa. So these are all psychological or restroom, some kind of roast humor the girls sing during wedding times. And we have got a lot of these things, but I don't know. The other thing is, just 1 minute, please. May I borrow from next year? One of the important form of humor is what we call this cosmic or theological humor, which actually I found that Oromos are really seriously religious people, as you all know. But for me, no, they are not. They are loyally sarcastic if we really observe correctly. I can give you a lot of examples on this. When, for instance, thunder happens or this lightning happens, and then they say, when some kind of damage occurs, they say, Isabaga, Isabaga, which literally means well done, well done. And then if somebody asks what happened and what caused the damage, they don't say it was struck by lightning. They say, Wakatutti gammade, which means God rejoiced on it. That is how deep they are. And then on one occasion, as a tale has it, a man was struck by a thunderbolt and died. On a stormy day, a few weeks after his funeral, a relative from a distant locality comes and then pays his respect and then sheds few tears and then asks, what caused the death? It was a rainy day. Then the man, the relative who lost the guy, he said, we don't talk about his days on a rainy day, do we? Yes. Because he's still suspecting that somebody is a vase dropping and then he might hit. On another occasion, a thunder hit something and then no days occurred, and the neighbors came and then tried to say, congratulations, nothing happened to you. And then the person says, please, would you just save the congratulations for a minute because he is still groaning and roaring at me? So there are a lot of such things. I'm sorry. The other humor type is humor in song lyrics. Okay, what I borrowed is also gone. Thank you so much.
Earlier, when I introduced Abu Zelealem, I forgot to mention something exceptionally important. He is incredibly humorous. You know, if you sit with him for 15 minutes and if you don't laugh, you have some problems.